Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today, sitting down for a spicy topic, so get comfortable. We're talking about the problem with modern video game journalism. Now, look, it is not something that's gone over my head that there is a clear divide between content creators and video game journalists, and it's because content creators like myself really threaten the existence of the medium many of these people work for, because more and more people from the audience are coming over to folks like myself because you can connect with them better, you can understand their tastes more, and honestly, there's a lot more respect on this side of the fence. But there's a reason why there's been such a rapid decline to video game journalists, and it's not as simple as Twitter will put it, which is journalists bad. There are many good ones out there, but there's a reason why, and it's because the well has effectively been poisoned, and it comes from bad pay. Money's a motivator. And of course, this video is built off the back of IGN very comfortably revealing that they pay $20 as a base rate per news story, and we will get into their sliding pay scale here. But the goal of this video is to inform the masses on what exactly is happening on the business side of video game journalism. I will be completely open and honest. There was a time I applied for IGN when I was in college. I was studying for informative writing. Wow, dodged the bullet there. But I do know a lot about the video game journalism side of things when it comes to business, because I'm friends with a lot of these journalists, both up and coming as well as current ones. And there's a lot of interesting things that happen behind the scenes that I don't think many people are aware of. So I want to shine a light on it in this video here today and talk about what the real problem is. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here looking for more conversations on the video game industry, consider subscribing. Let's get into it. So let's get the full picture of the IGN details. This came from Kat Bailey, who is IGN's senior editor, saying that IGN is looking for new freelancers to assist with the daily flow of stories in games, entertainment, tech, and now science. $20 base rate per story, sliding scale for heavier reporting, DM with an introduction and portfolio for details. It's pretty obvious what IGN's doing because they do this with every single website that's ever existed, and we'll dive deeper into that. But for the sliding pay scale, as you can see here, it's $20 for a basic news aggregation like, hey, Xbox just bought Activision. Here's the write-up for that. Probably won't take you more than half an hour. Ship it in. There's your 20 bucks. $50 for slightly more involved stories. Finding a fun community angle that's not sourced from any other outlet. So as in not taking a story that someone else has reported, but diving into something with Elden Ring that you've seen. 50 bucks for that. And then $300 and up for in-depth multi-source reporting. Looks like a pretty big leap, right? But actually, multi-source reporting takes weeks and at many times months. And obviously it says $300 and up, so I will give them the benefit of the doubt on that one, but just know that this is 300 bucks for weeks of work, which again isn't good. The reason I hammer on IGN for this is because I think they're a really good outlet in many ways, and you can tell that publishers really like the numbers they see from IGN because they'll use them to reveal games straight up exclusively on their website, on their platform. IGN is, whether you like it or not, the leading games outlet. That's why they need to do better here. Now, what's interesting about this $20 is this is considered the standard across the industry, and I know for a fact that there are websites that pay $10 per basic news aggregations. So just know that there are companies that are paying less than this. It's just the standard for journalism payment is very, very low. And it's because these websites will weaponize brand new freelancers looking to get their foot in the door in the industry. They'll go ahead and try to crack through, and they'll take the crappy money because then they'll get that foothold, that real position there. And in the meantime, these websites are making thousands of dollars through SEO farming. What do I mean by that? Let me show you this IGN article because I want to use them as the first example as to what a freelance writer is doing for them. And by the way, the problem with the freelance writers are not the content at all, really. The writing itself is good. The information is good. It's the topics. It's the keywords. I'll explain that in a moment. So one of them is Logan Paul wears most expensive Pokemon card to WrestleMania 38. This is SEO farming because WrestleMania 38 just happened. So you got Logan Paul, who wrestled there, Pokemon, gaming, and then WrestleMania 38. So anyone who's looking up, hey, Logan Paul wrestled at WrestleMania 38 might find IGN's article. Even though it's Pokemon related, as you can see here, the categorization is Pokemon. Okay. It's a real stretch here to make this one fit. IGN is bending more and more to try to get keywords in to then grow their site, to get ads like here on the right side of the screen to pop up and they get revenue. It's how I make money too. When you click on this video, so long as you don't have ad block, you will generate some revenue on my end, and that is how I mostly get paid. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just about the bending of the actual titles and trying to squeeze things that don't really work into their site. like this. It says T-Rex arms may have evolved to be short for protection during feeding frenzies. Again, the content isn't the problem here. It's a whole write-up on why T-Rex arms actually may have been longer. Why it's on IGN, I'm not entirely aware, but here at the bottom it says we'll probably be doing most of our research by watching Jurassic World Dominion later this year. So a little bit of SEO farming for Jurassic World. This is how these companies grow. They go wide, get someone into their system, and then they narrow the focus more and more. And they have people do it for very cheap. These are 2 freelance articles here on IGN. And why are they doing really not gaming content? It's because if you look here, 3 comments, 11, 6, 539 for Twitter confirms it's working on an edit button as Elon Musk joins board of directors, and then 63 for Sherlock Holmes TV universe from Robert Downey Jr. This is not to suggest that IGN at all is dying. I think they're doing quite well, but it shows they know where the money is, and it also shows how comfortable they were with things to publicly reveal we're going to pay you 20 bucks a pop for freelance writing. That's not acceptable. Again, this is what SEO farming is. And SEO keywords, there's no problem with hitting those, right? I do it myself. You can look at any of my Xbox news updates. You'll see Game Pass in there, Xbox, Starfield, yada, yada, yada. You'll see the keywords there because that does help your channel grow. And it does help your outlet grow. Nothing wrong with that at all. What it leads to, though, is because IGN's not the only one doing this, right? And other websites do pay less. It's just the standard is woefully low. So you'll get stuff like this. Dexerto.com. Is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga on Xbox Game Pass? This is one of those things that you go over to this Twitter account here, saved you a click, and you'll probably find it there, right? Because you scroll down, and it's pretty much saying right here, unfortunately, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga isn't on Game Pass right now, but that doesn't mean it won't come to the service in the future. For now, you'll need to purchase the game from the Microsoft Store if you want to download the game straight to your console. This is like those articles. I don't know how many out there watch like UFC or you watch, I don't know, WWE, AEW. You're watching these pay-per-views, and there will be these articles that are vomited out ad nauseum towards the date of the pay-per-view that says, how to watch AEW Full Gear. And I'm like, I ordered the pay-per-view, guy. Like, thank you for the article, but it's so that they can put AEW Full Gear pay-per-view and get there at the top of the search rankings so they can have this ad here on the bottom right corner, this ad here on the right side, this here, tons and tons of this at the top. See what I mean? That's what happens here because Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga just came out, Xbox Game Pass. You get people get baited, by the way, who go, oh, is it? Wait, I never even thought of that. Click? No, it's not. And the reality is, and you could simplify even my own content this way, so I'm not going to act foolish here, but you could simplify this and really put the answer in the article. Like, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is not on Game Pass. But if you did that, people would look at you kind of confused, like, well, yeah, they never indicated it was going to be. So again, it's just to farm clicks. That's all it's to do. To have content that's relevant to the game, to the service, to whatever's trending at that moment in time. And guess what? This is where the pay structure factors in. If I'm getting 20 bucks an article and I know I can just boom, 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 and make 200 bucks that day, I'm going to farm like an MMO. I'm going to farm, man. I'm going to pump out all those articles. I'm going to pump them the hell out because then in volume, you make okay money for certain people's living situations. I don't think it's good money at all, but you can at least get some money, but you got to pump them out, right? So you make something like this, like Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga on Game Pass. You crack that in and you go, okay, that's 20 bucks. What else can I talk about here? And it effectively waters everything down. Then you're getting just bad filler content everywhere. It's a vicious cycle. And don't even get me started. I'm sorry, I'm not ranting, but now I could. Don't get me started on these fellas here. Kotaku. Nintendo walked right into porn when promoting Switch Sport. Just go away at this point. But my God, man, this is what's happening. And it all starts back here. The pay rate. Money speaks to people. Look, there are many factors to getting the best work out of people. Of course, a workplace environment is important. Support is also very important. Having good hours, being able to be with your family, your friends, whatever. That is all very important. But money is what puts food on the table. It lets you enjoy the luxuries of life. And if you're not paying, people aren't playing. So people are going to put out that type of filler content, that SEO farming content. They'll get their money and they'll move on. And don't even get me started on websites' rates for things like wiki guides. I've seen some pretty heinous price tags put on these wiki guides where people will spend well over 100 hours, like think of Elden Ring, and get like $500. It's not a good rate at all. And journalism isn't a glamorous job. That's the reality here with this type of stuff, is that this is not pretty work and it doesn't pay well. No one in this field is rich, and I don't think you get into this field to get rich, but you should at least be able to get into this field to make a little bit of moolah, just a little bit. But this is why video game journalism is going downhill. No one's getting paid well, and I'm not saying you got to make these people rich when they're freelancing, but pay them something generous. So no one's getting paid well, so they're SEO farming. They're just trying to generate articles so they can make money a la volume, and you're getting crappy articles. And that's why people are leaving in droves from these main media outlets and moving on to, I don't even want to say myself because I'm not going to act like I'm the bee's knees, but many other content creators. It's why IGN is still a player, but they're not the dominant leader. It's why all these outlets aren't the dominant leaders. It's why you look at, God, G4, you look at what's going on with XPlay, it's terrible. I mean, let's take a look at their channel right now. G4 has a team of people fully hired. They're posting on their XPlay channel. And as you can see here, things aren't doing too hot for the channel with 489K subscribers. Now, XPlay, G4, like these were many people's childhood. You know, I remember on Spike when E3 was hosted, Adam Sessler was the GOAT. And now you look at things like Hyperlight Drifter is getting 6.2K views. This would be fine if you were like an individual person building up your own personal channel. I'm sorry, I'm going to use myself as an example here. I don't have the craziest amazing numbers, but I'm absolutely dominating XPlay. And that's not something I should be able to say, because at XPlay, you do have a team of people who are talented, who know what they're doing, like the Completionist. I like Black Hokage. You know, you got people there who are talented, but the numbers aren't good. It's because people are detached from these outlets largely and are looking for people more and more who they can connect to. This is the reality of the situation. Obviously very separate from what's happening over on the journalism side of things, but this is the reality. And IGN should be ashamed for what they're paying, and so should some of these other sites, because again, these rates are not good across the board. Not saying everyone's got to get in and get rich. I'm not asking for a ton of payout, but we have to be reasonable with ourselves and look at why things have rapidly declined. And absolutely, you can point your finger at the pay rate. And that's what's led to a lot of watered down content, a lot of clickbaity stuff, a lot of SEO farming, you know, kill them by numbers, right? Quantity, not quality. So I just wanted to go ahead and post this. I thought it would be relatively informative for all of you, just based off my personal experience, what I do know about this, and to kind of connect some dots on what's happening here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about the status of video game journalism in the comments down below. Looking forward to seeing your thoughts. And with that, I will catch you in the next video. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.